Jim Hunt with a question of Allendale Villas and what do I think of them, and he said, let me read this here. We just missed a patio villa on Allendale. I don't know where that is. What are your thoughts on the area and patio villas? Well, I'd love to tell you, but I don't know where Allendale is. I don't know every street in the villages, you know, and I don't know every area of the villages. I know the village, like the village of Caroline, the village of Virginia Trace, the village of Hillsborough, the village of whatever. But when you talk about villa areas, every villa area has a name for that villa area. I had a patio villa, and the villa area was called Catherine Villas. Well, Catherine Villas, if I wasn't familiar with that, I wouldn't even know where that was, because they all have their own names. I need to know the village it's in, and Catherine Villas was in the village of Caroline. So I have no idea where this is at. So I can't tell you about the area. But I did Google a little bit, and I did go to the village's website where they post the homes that were sold, let's say, in the last 6 months. And I punched in villas, and there's a villa that came up called Avondale. And I don't know if this is the same one for you or not, but there was an Avondale villa that sold within the last 6 months. They got $220 for it, and it's not a patio villa, it's a courtyard villa. So that alone doesn't really make that much difference. So I don't know what to tell you, because I'm confused on the information you give me. I don't know where to look. But I'll tell you this, I don't care what villa it is. Courtyard villa, patio villa, makes no difference. Most of them north of, say, 466A, not all, most, villas are 2-bedroom. You get into the higher priced villas, the courtyard villas, like, say, Hacienda Hills area, places like that. They're 3-bedroom. They're a lot more pricier. You're probably talking well upwards of 300 and up price, maybe even as high as $500,000. But for $220 for a courtyard villa, that's probably a 2-car. That's probably, or not 2-car, I'm sorry, a car and a half, garage, 2-bedroom. That's pretty standard for a courtyard. And the same thing for a patio villa. Most of them are car and a half, 2-bedroom, and all this and that. You get down around Finney, they've upscaled the patio villas a lot. I've been down there. I did a video on one of them that a friend of mine has for rent. So you can go by that one. And then I did a little bit of the neighborhood, and you kind of see the difference. That some of the patio villas down there come with 2-car garages. Some have split garages, car on one side, golf cart on the other. There's all different kinds down there now, which I think is great. They're a little pricier down there than what they used to be, but they've added quite a bit to them also. So I really can't tell you what I think of your area, but I will tell you this. There's nothing wrong with patio villa. I lived in one. My biggest problem with my patio villa wasn't the layout. The master bedroom, I think, is a little bit bigger than what it is here in our designer home. Our bathroom here is 100 times nicer than it was in our patio villa. Not that there was anything wrong with the one in the patio villa, but here it's just nicer. You got a walk-in shower, Roman shower. You know, you got the tile floor, the tile walls, all that kind of stuff. Where in a patio villa, you generally don't have that. You could do that, but it generally will cost you, you know, to have that done. So, but I had no problem with patio villa. As a matter of fact, I even told my wife there was a good chance that if we had a 2-car garage, at least a 2-car garage, full garage, I probably would have stayed there for a little while. I wouldn't have been in such a big hurry to sell it. But that car and a half garage, for me, was really an issue. Our washer and dryer was in the garage. My wife didn't like that either, because it's in the summertime it gets so hot in the garage. Some of the patio villas, as time went on and they came out with newer models, they moved that section of the garage and made it part of the kitchen, actually inside the house. So at least a washer and dryer is in the air-conditioned part of the house. And then they put like sliding doors on them to hide everything. But yeah, we didn't have that either. But we loved the location. The people that rented my house every winter, they loved the location. Everybody that rented off of me in the winter came back year after year after year. They didn't go anywhere else. I never had a problem with mine. I just needed more space. The third bedroom was nice because that's where we put my TV room, aka man cave, and I like it. I just like it. It's a small room, the smallest of the 3 bedrooms, and I got my TV in there. I got my camera equipment I keep in there. It's just an out-of-the-way place. It'd be nice, and we have almost like a brand new queen-size bed because my wife just bought a king-size bed. It's out in the garage right now. I really don't want to sell it because we got so much money in it, and it being almost brand new, I just have a hard time selling it, so it's out in the garage, all wrapped up against the wall, and it's there. And she keeps asking me, what are you going to do with it? I don't know. I keep thinking maybe I ought to put that in the 3rd bedroom for guests, but truth of it is, you get guests 2 or 3 weeks out of the year. I use my man cave every day of the year. So when you look about use of square footage, I use it every day. A guest bedroom in there would be used maybe 2 or 3 weeks out of the year. So I'm thinking maybe we just ought to go ahead and sell that queen size bed. I just hate to, but anyway, we still got it. Make a long story short, I can't tell you about the area, but I have no problem with patio villas. The problems you're going to run into, and unless you're a much more patient guy than I am, people in the wintertime, especially the wintertime, the streets are narrower in a patio villa area. They park on the street. It sometimes gets difficult to go around them in a car, especially if they're having like a card game and people drive over in their car and they park all up and down the road. They park in front of your house. They park just literally everywhere. Our patio villa area didn't really have guest parking. Try to get something with guest parking. And there's problems with that too, but I did a video on all this. If I find it, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a link in the description box below, and maybe that'll help you out. But as far as living in a patio villa, the house itself, absolutely nothing wrong with them. The square footage is a little small, but for 2 people, how much room do you really need? You know, you're going to be out doing things all day long, riding your golf cart all day long. So, you know, if you're like us, me and Sue, we're active. So we're not really home, what you say, that much to worry about little things. The street parking thing bugs me to no end. I can't deal with that. I lived in a city for 16 years. People was all over the street parking everywhere. Kids riding bicycles on the sidewalk. I don't want to deal with that no more. So that's another reason why I had to get out of the patio villa area. It just really was get out on my nerves every day. And you know, it gets ridiculous when you have to go to your next door neighbor, knock on a door and ask them to move their car from in front of your driveway so you can get out. And sometimes it got that bad because people just have no respect. Sometimes you go out in your front yard and there's somebody that's got two of their tires on the passenger side of the car in your yard. They run over your sprinkler heads because they're trying to make room out in the street for other people. Well, that's fine, but why are you driving in my yard? I mean, that's the kind of problems I had, and so hopefully you won't have that problem. I'm not saying all of them do have that problem. I'm not saying that was a problem I had every day. I didn't. It was mostly in the winter from people that had guests that come down that don't know, and they just, it was just a problem. Here in the designer area, and probably in the premier neighborhoods, the way they're designed, I've never had that problem. Only problem I've ever had in a designer area is when like a neighbor across the street is having a garage sale or a rummage sale or their house is up for sale. Then a lot of people from outside the villages is looking to buy. And they don't really know the rules either. And they're doing the best they can do. And I don't really complain about it for that kind of thing. But they park all over the street. Sometimes they're parking, you know, in front of my house, and then when the passengers get out of the car, they're walking through my yard. And one day I got up and there was a lady that walked all the way up to the front of my house and was looking at flowers. Now she wasn't bothering anything, but you got to wonder, where did she get the idea she can just walk through somebody's yard like that? But anyway, these are the problems I had with the patio villa areas. So just a heads up, good luck. Nothing wrong with patio villa at all. Enjoy it. You'll end up putting money into it, probably fixing up the way you want it, but you'll be inside the villages, and that's really where you want to be. And once you're in here, then you'll have time to look around and get an idea where you want to move to your next house, because the average villager here buys 3 homes in their lifetime inside the villages. And that's a statistical fact. Some buy more. I'm on my second, and I can actually see a third one in the future. So just know that. The odds are you're going to buy one or two more homes anyway. See you on the other side.